The Salem Witch Trials, which took place in 1692 in colonial Massachusetts, began with a group of young girls in Salem Village experiencing strange fits and behaviors. They claimed to be possessed and accused others in the village of witchcraft. These initial outbursts quickly escalated as fear and paranoia spread through the Puritan community. The Puritans, who had strict religious beliefs, viewed any deviation from their teachings as a threat, and witchcraft was considered a serious crime. The first accusations were made by several girls, including Betty Paris and Abigail Williams. They accused several local women, such as Tituba, an enslaved woman, and Sarah Good, of practicing witchcraft. These early accusations fueled the fear of witches in Salem and set off a chain reaction of accusations, leading to a mass panic. As the accusations spread, more and more people were targeted. The fear of witches grew so intense that nearly anyone could be accused, including prominent community members. It was not uncommon for the accused to be questioned under extreme pressure, and many confessions were forced or made out of fear. The court, led by Judge Samuel Sewell and Reverend Samuel Paris, believed that the accused could be saved only if they confessed to their supposed crimes. The witch trials took a particularly dark turn when some of the accused began naming other people in order to save themselves. This created a vicious cycle where more and more people were arrested and interrogated. Soon, accusations of witchcraft were made against even the most unlikely individuals, including the elderly, the poor, and those with minor disputes with their accusers. Religion played a major role in the Salem witch trials, as the Puritan settlers saw their community as being divinely chosen. The Puritans strongly believed in the existence of the devil and saw witchcraft as a grave sin that threatened their religious and social order. The fear of witches was rooted in the Puritans' religious worldview, which saw every misfortune as a sign of spiritual danger. The local ministers, especially Reverend Paris, supported the trials and fueled the panic by preaching about the devil's influence. The trials were not just a legal matter, but a religious crusade. Puritan ministers believed that by rooting out witches, they could preserve their community's purity. This made the trials even more intense and gave them a sense of divine purpose. The trials were conducted in Salem Village and were overseen by judges and clergy. The court relied heavily on spectral evidence, meaning that accusations based on visions, dreams, or other intangible evidence were considered valid. This type of evidence was unreliable and often manipulated, leading to many innocent people being convicted. One of the most notorious aspects of the Salem witch trials was the use of touch tests and physical evidence to determine guilt. The accused were often subjected to bizarre tests, like being pricked with needles or dunked in water. If a person floated or did not bleed, they were considered guilty. These practices were both brutal and ineffective, often leading to false confessions or wrongful executions. By the fall of 1692, the trials had spiraled out of control. More than 200 people had been accused, and 20 people were executed, many of them by hanging. The trials began to lose public support as families and leaders in Salem started to question the legitimacy of the accusations. In October of 1692, Governor William Phips intervened after his wife's relative was accused, halting the trials and disbanding the court. He later declared that the trials had been a mistake, and many of the convictions were reversed. In the years that followed, the people of Salem expressed deep regret and remorse for the events that had taken place. Many of those who had been accused of witchcraft were posthumously exonerated, though the damage to the community was irreversible. The legacy of the Salem witch trials continues to resonate today, The events serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of mass hysteria, scapegoating, and religious extremism. The trials also highlight the consequences of relying on unreliable evidence and the importance of due process in legal proceedings. Over time, the trials have become a symbol of injustice, with lessons that can be applied to prevent similar events from happening in modern times. In the centuries since, the Salem Witch Trials have been the subject of countless books, films, and studies. They continue to spark debate about the relationship between religion, law, and justice, and how societies can be swayed by fear and superstition. The trials remain one of the darkest chapters in American history, reminding us of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of protecting the rights of individuals. The Salem Witch Trials are a reminder of the devastating effects of fear, ignorance, and mob mentality. They illustrate the dangers of scapegoating and the importance of critical thinking in times of crisis. Though the trials ended in 1693, their impact on American society has endured, offering valuable lessons for generations to come. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more tales from the past.